everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel, Hallmark Plus More, where we watch and talk about shows, movies, mysteries, Hallmark ornaments, and whatever else floats our boat. So today we are going to be watching the latest movie in the Signed, Sealed, Delivered series. It's called A Tale of Three Letters, and where it picks up with the Postables identifying recipients of 3 dead letters. So hopefully you'll be able to watch this with me. Afterwards, we're going to do a review. I'm going to do my Jen rating, so definitely stick around for that. So right now, on the screen, it says Hallmark Media Presents, and in the background, it looks like there's a bridge with lights on it. It's nighttime. So just right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count it down so we can watch it in 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. Oh, okay. So they're on their honeymoon. And Shane and Oliver, so it really picks up right from the last movie when they got married. So it looks like they're in Paris. Of course, going to museums, because that's Oliver. They are the cutest couple. So of course Oliver wants to go to all the museums. So here we go. This screen shows Signed, Sealed, Delivered, A Tale of Three Letters. So they're going back to Denver from their honeymoon. All right. So they are getting home from their honeymoon, going back to Denver. Tripping over her shoes. Oh, it looks like they're going back to work at the post office. So Rita and Norman. Aw. He's so smart. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Let's see the letter. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Theater teacher. Cool, okay. Yeah. Well, there's a lot to go on. 7 years ago, Maria. such a precious little baby. So cute. Aww. Look at Norma with her. Mm. Hmm. Okay. Oliver is definitely a stickler. Aww. Hmm. Hmm. Norman's loving the baby. Uh-oh. Seems like it's a little taken back. Let's see what's going on. Hmm. Uh, she seems a little shaken up by this letter from the theater teacher. Maybe she knows something. Gonna see, find out. Now he said Garfield High. All right. Okay, well, she accidentally put it back in, but it'll come back to him. So, Hmm. Okay, she seems a little frustrated, but trust the timing. 6 months later. Okay. Oh, more shoes. You remember he keeps moving her shoes out of the way. Uh oh, she knows something. She's a little shaken by this. Okay. All right. So we're on commercial right now. So, you could tell Charlie was a little shook up when they were talking about it. So, um, obviously, she's not Marie or Maria, who the letter was written about, but she seemed a little shook up. So, we kind of wanted to see what that was about or how it affected her. So she pretty much just told us, like, that was my fault. So my first instinct is, teenagers, did she call in the threat? Did she pull the fire alarm? Which is a serious offense, by the way. But all she really said was that it was her fault. So maybe we don't really know why it was her fault or why she feels that way. Um, so that's interesting. It's interesting that when they came in, she had the letter. So we kind of want to know, like, does she have any other significance, importance with the letters, or is she just a little flustered and surprised because she's saying, or she still feels guilt 7 years later that it was her fault, or that she started the breach or started the bomb threat. So that's going to be interesting to see kind of her take on it, and see if there's any consequences for her, even though she's not necessarily, involved in the three letters or be the recipient or the person, who wrote them. So that's going to be interesting. The other little side note that we picked up on a couple times, Rita was talking about Charlie's baby, about how Norman has really took on the role as the father figure. So Rita and Norman are trying to have a baby, pretty much knowing they're going to adopt. I'm sure, like she said, they're still trying naturally, of course. But I think, when they agreed to bring Charlie in with the baby, Norman's really kind of taken on that parental fatherly role for the baby. And maybe, Rita's thinking he's kind of taking it on too much or is overdoing it a little bit. She wants to make sure, Norman's focused on the adoption and getting a baby of their own. So, we did notice in the little short time with the baby, Norman was like, oh, picking up the baby, calming the baby. I'll take the baby for a walk, in the stroller. So already brought a crib to the work so that the baby would have a place to stay when they're working. So he's really taking on a very active role. And I think that just kind of concerns Rita, or she's a little frustrated by that. So we will just have to see how that plays out as a side note. And then, of course, kind of a little comical with Shane and Oliver being married. She's leaving her shoes everywhere. Typical, I'm sure that happens in a lot of marriages. She's got her high heels. And you can see she's a little frustrated with wanting to improve things in the house and obviously not being able to. I mean, most people do their DIYs in their house anytime they want, right? So in this case, since it's a historical site, they have to get everything approved. So we'll see if that kind of continues to kind of bottle up and see if she talks to Oliver about that. But here we go. Let's get back to it. See what Charlie has to say. Oh, okay. Let's see what Charlie has to say. Okay. Oh, okay. So kind of like a dare. Okay, flashback to her. Oh, okay. Flashback to her in high school. Okay, an alarm clock. That's oh, there's the teacher, Miss Philbot, the drama teacher, putting her letter in. All right, she put her letter in, the drama teacher. Okay. Interesting story. Oliver's very by the book. Suspension. What's he gonna say, Oliver? Okay, so Oliver's pretty much telling her to take the day off and meditate on what you did wrong. I knew it. She remembered who Maria is. Okay, which is similar to what the letter said about the police. Okay, so we need to figure out who she is. Okay. Okay, Maria Salinger. Okay. All right, so they're going to see a therapist as part of their adoption process. Hmm. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Oh, yeah, it's true. Okay. So juvie for 30 days, that would mean that she wouldn't be able to graduate. So I mean, so we're on commercial. So it looks like they're kind of getting into what's going on with Maria. Excuse me. So she went into a chat room from 2017 where they were talking about it. So she did play sports, but she was in drama as well from the theater teacher who wrote the letter to her. She also disappeared. So my first reaction is, okay, so the drama teacher wrote this letter. They read most of it, which pretty much is really just saying, in a nutshell, I'm disappointed in you. You know, you did this thing. I thought you were going to go far, and I'm disappointed, when the police arrived. So, whatever happened, the theater teacher was involved with it or knew when the police came. So I feel like the letter was just kind of a disappointment. So maybe the reason the drama teacher disappeared was she felt like the letter was delivered, and maybe that sparked, further action or making Maria go further down this rabbit hole. So from the chat that Shane recovered, it shows that she was sentenced to 30 days in juvenile detention because she was under the age of 18. So I don't think she necessarily went to jail unless she, continued down this spiral. A lot of people that go to juvie, get better or, go to juvie, they learn their lesson and they, grow up to have great lives and don't have any other trouble with the law. So I don't necessarily think that Maria necessarily went to jail or, went into this. It just shows in the chat that that's where it was rumored or so to speak, where she went. We don't really know if she went to juvie or if she went to jail or what happened. We just know that the letter was basically saying that she was disappointed. So that's interesting. We definitely want to see what's going on there. And then, like I say, what's going on with Rita and Norman. They're going, to see a therapist, and he doesn't feel comfortable going across town because he doesn't want to leave Eleanor, even though he's not the father. So you can kind of hear Rita's little frustration. Hey, this is about us raising our kids and getting children. Why don't we let other people raise theirs? So I think that was her kind of saying to Norman, hey. And I think Norman was completely oblivious to the comment because he didn't even kind of pick up that that's what she was saying. So I thought that was really interesting. So we'll see how that plays out because I feel like that's kind of going to come to a head during the movie as well. But keep in mind, there's 2 other letters that they're trying to decipher and see who the recipients are. So I love that they're focusing on this with Maria and the drama teacher, the theater teacher. But we also want to see what's going on with the other 2 letters, kind of see how that comes into play as well. So that's going to be interesting as well. So definitely interested in what's going on there. So that will be interesting too. So I, really think it's going good so far. I like being able to see, how they're going along as the married couples here in the show. And I love Charlie. I think she's a great character, and I like that dynamic. So, and the baby is just so adorable. So, hopefully we'll see that dynamic, see if maybe she can help with Maria. See if this has any impact on, I'm sure she has this feeling of guilt over 7 years of kind of keeping that in, especially working at the post office and seeing that they're, they're trying to find recipients of this bomb scare from 7 years ago. So I'm sure she's had a lot of guilt. It probably felt good to kind of get that off her chest, but at the same time, she's probably still feeling that guilt. So we're going to see about that. All right, it's coming back on now. Here we go. Personal or postal? Little stuff. Aww. So sweet. Okay, let's see. All right, so they're going to go to the therapist, which is one of Norman's many cousins. She's going to go take a nap. She takes her shoes off at the bottom of the stairs. All her shoes are at the bottom of the stairs. You can tell that annoys him. It's the little things. She really wants to get those windows open. Oh no, she's going to break it. I knew it. I knew she was going to break it when she tried to do that. Oh no. Oh no. That's not good. So she broke. Uh-oh, he's back. She broke it. He's going to figure it out. Okay, so she's not happy with where he took it. All right. Well, we're getting to the heart of it now. Got little spats going on now. She's got to figure out how to repair it without him knowing. Oh, okay. Aw. Nice. Okay, so it does. We are getting back to Charlie. Ooh, okay. So let's see here. So it looks like one of the second letters is actually addressed to Charlie. So that's a little twist. Um, she feels responsible for this happening. And now, one of the last three letters, she's one of the recipients. So it's going to be interesting to see who wrote the letter, or who the letter's from. But she is definitely heavily involved in this episode, along with the kind of side story with Norman being the father figure for her daughter Eleanor, and feeling responsible. For the whole bomb scare and whole kind of issue altogether 7 years ago. And now we find out that the second letter of the three that are left was addressed to Charlie. So this is going to be interesting to see what the letter's about, if it has anything to do with Maria and the theater teacher, or if they're two completely separate issues. So that's going to be interesting too. But you kind of got the feel when you saw her expression, not really of guilt, but also kind of shock and a little scared. So I definitely like the twist. It's really going to be interesting to kind of see what the letter is about, the Charlie's reading that's addressed to her. So I definitely think that's interesting. And then, like I say, being able to find Maria, and, in essence, find the theater teacher, Miss Philippot, I believe, finding her as well, because that's definitely an interesting dynamic that she disappeared shortly after that. So my gut feeling is she disappeared because she feels like the letter was delivered, and she's feeling guilty about that, or maybe it has something entirely different. We will just have to wait and see. But I definitely think that's interesting, going back to the letter with Maria. What happened to her? Did she go to juvie? Did she get out? I think they are going to find the theater teacher, and pretty much talk to her, because normally in past movies, sometimes they find the people that wrote the letter before they find the recipient, and in some cases they're like, please don't deliver it, please don't deliver it. And of course Oliver and the Postables are like, we have to deliver the letter, but do you want to come with us, or do you want to write another letter or talk to the person? So that's going to be interesting too, because I definitely think they're going to find the theater teacher as well. So I definitely like that dynamic. And then keep in mind, we have a third letter that we haven't even talked about yet. So, there is another letter there, because it is the tale of three letters. So, we have this dynamic with two different letters, both have a little different story, and then we're going to have a third letter to talk about. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I hope you guys are liking the movie so far. Definitely enjoying seeing the Postables. I love the four of them together, and they each bring their own dynamic, and their own personal issues. So Oliver bringing the wedding dress to that cleaners, that cracked me up. Being a woman, I'm kind of with Shane, like, oh, you don't bring it to just a regular cleaners. So that's gonna be interesting. And then her breaking that crank for his grandfather clock. She said 4 days. I don't see how he's not going to see it missing. So that's definitely going to be interesting too. All right, let's get back to it. Here we go. They're talking to Charlie in the letter. Okay. Oh. Aw. To the point. Aw. Okay. Aw. Okay, well, that's interesting letter then. Okay, well, they have their own issues. On fire? What's going on? No, not her wedding dress. Oh! Ooh, I think she's a little upset about that. Oh, Oliver. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Yeah, she's a little upset. Oh no. Oh, okay, so everything's coming out. Oh dear, okay, everything's coming out. Ooh, that's his like comfort food. He's not hungry, so that's not good. Mm. Okay, well, everything's out in the open with Oliver and Shane, so married life. There's the clock ticking. It's dead. end up on fire. Mm. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Ooh, coming to a head here. Ooh, Shane. Oh, okay. Okay. So, that was a little interesting. Woo! Shane and Oliver kind of had a little um marital spat, so to speak. So yeah, I think frustration is kind of coming to a head here. Um, Understandable, they're newlyweds, they're learning. Um, Oliver is very by the book, very like precise, and Shane is not. She's very kind of more laid back. Um, and I think they just need to talk things out. Communication is the best key in marriage. In my opinion, one of the best things is to communicate, which is hard to do sometimes because you get frustrated. And in this case, I mean, she's trying to fix the tool before he even notices every 4 days. And then he says, well, I do it every other day. So, she had to tell him. But she's trying to do the right thing and get it fixed. However, I understand both sides. I mean, I understand Oliver was trying to do the right thing. However, and I think a lot of men don't realize this, but a wedding dress, very sacred to women. You wear it once, but you take a long time to pick it out. Some people dream about their wedding dresses from childhood. It is a very big deal. So I think Oliver was trying to do a good thing. However, I don't think men realize, when you want to get it cleaned, you also want to get it preserved. And a lot of times when you get it clean and preserved, they'll put it in like a nice little box that you can store it in. So I think he had good intentions there. But I also think Oliver just didn't realize the significance that a wedding dress has on a woman. Now, I understand Shane, Oliver kind of blew the dust off of it because it was sitting there for 6 months. But with that, and I think that happens with a lot of guys. They just don't realize how important the significance of it is. And that being said, Shane still let it sit there for 6 months. So, I mean, I understand why Oliver wanted to do that. Same thing with her breaking that. I think our first instinct is, oh no, I broke something. Let me try to fix it before they find out, So I understand that. She should have came clean to Oliver. Maybe he knew of somebody, kind of like she had a special place for the wedding dress. Maybe he had a special place to get antiques fixed since he has a lot of antiques. So, it could be the same thing. So I'm glad everything's out in the open, but I do think the next step for them is to kind of sit down and hash it out. The thing with Charlie trying to find out who wrote the letter, whether it was Barry or Marlon, I think, is definitely a side story we want to follow with Charlie. And I think Shane wants to help Charlie with that. And Oliver's saying, it's not work related. And I think that's just she's frustrated with Oliver, and I feel like she wants to help Charlie, so that's just something else that can kind of rub Oliver the wrong way. So I hope, you kind of see Charlie find out who wrote the letter and where that goes. And again, we're what, about an hour into the movie almost, and we still don't know anything about the third letter. So there is one more letter that we need to talk about. So I definitely think it's progressing. I really want to find out, though. I feel like there's a little bit of mystery there on why the theater teacher disappeared. So I'm still kind of interested in what's going on with that, why she disappeared. And obviously the mystery, what's going on with Maria? I always hope in happy endings. I thoroughly believe in giving everybody a second chance. So I hope we find Maria and everything works out. Let's get back to it. All right, here's Oliver. You do. You know where she is. Think about it. So he's meeting up with Shane. Talk about it, talk it through, communicate. That's right. Good stuff is always worth waiting for. Hmm. I love Oliver's dad. He's such a great actor. I'm so glad he's back in it. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Yes. As everybody deserves a second chance. I hope she took it too. You want those happy endings. You want people to get a second chance. right. All right, Rita and Norman time. Philpott. All right, so they found the theater teacher. Yay. Let's see. See why she disappeared. This is going to be exciting to see. Finally find the mystery. Oh, well, it will be. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. What does she do? Oh. Ooh. Oh no. Hmm. She's going to write another letter. Aww. Toby. We'll see. Okay. So, I was saying I am wanting to know the mystery of the theater teacher. So we found out. We found out why she vanished. So basically, she had her first, missed her first doctor's appointment for chemo. So it looks like she had some form of cancer. After she had her chemo, she stopped teaching and basically vanished, so to speak, from school, which I'm assuming was because of her cancer treatment. So from the looks of it just now, she either, she's working in a flower shop. She looks healthy. This was 7 years ago. So, thank goodness, everything came back because it looks like she's healthy. And it seems like, everybody reaches their breaking point. Everybody, no matter what you do, no matter how perfect you are, nobody's perfect, but no matter what you do, you have a breaking point. So it seems like the theater teacher, Maria was a promising student, but breaking her windshield of her car on her first day of chemo, I think just kind of put her over the edge. I think the theater teacher was like, all right, that's the last straw. Like, I'm done. I'm very disappointed in you. I kind of mentioned earlier the letter seemed like, kind of like, if you have kids or when your parents were like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. So I feel like that's kind of what the letter was about is I'm disappointed in you. And that's what I think it was. I think this theater teacher, just like she said, she wrote it at a very weak moment. She was going to cancer treatments. She was obviously late for her appointment now because they smashed her car window with the bat, broke the glass, had to have the police come. She was arrested, so she obviously missed her doctor's appointment. And I really think that was kind of like she said, the final straw. But now it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Maria. And I can imagine. I mean, here's this kid. She's a senior in high school. She's 17. I got a scout coming to her game, which means she could get a scholarship to college. Very big deal. College is expensive. If you have an opportunity to get a full ride or a partial ride or half a scholarship, anything. And she basically didn't have the grades. So she's begging her coach, let me play. He's coming to see me. This is my future. I could have a scholarship. I could go on for pro, Olympics, anything. Just be able to further her education with college. And then obviously she let out her frustration. Should she have hit the car with a bat and break the glass? No, she shouldn't have. Have we all felt that way? Yes. Have we all felt anger or upset and you want to lash out? Especially being a teenager, very understandable. Not that I'm condoning it at all, because she should not have done that. But that one moment of weakness for Maria has now, with the police coming, she was arrested, she was expelled. So obviously she didn't get a ride to college. The scout never saw her. She didn't graduate high school. You can't get into college if you don't graduate high school. So, I mean, very much of a moment of weakness. And that kind of happens with everything, you got to control your anger. You got to control your emotions. Because it can affect, the outcome. It can affect the rest of your life. However, I solely believe in second chances. We all make mistakes. We need to pay for our mistakes, and then we need to move on. Nobody needs to, deal with their mistakes for the rest of their life. Everybody, we need to move on from them. So hopefully, even though she got expelled and didn't graduate high school, hopefully we're going to find Maria. She's going to go back to school, get her GED. Hopefully she's made something of her life. Maybe she's teaching softball now. Maybe she's working with children or adolescents, or maybe she got married. Maybe she ran off with Toby. Maybe she got into more trouble, but hopefully, we're going to see what happened to Maria. And hopefully, since, Rita said maybe we can deliver too. So I'm hoping the theater teacher is going to write another letter that says, hey, actually, I don't know what she's going to write in the second letter, but the fact that Rita said that, kind of says, okay, we have to deliver this letter, but you can write another letter and we can deliver both. So I'm really, looking forward to them finding Maria, so we can see what's going on with that. And then, being able to find out what's going on with that third letter. So again, we still have one more letter. So let's get back to it. And of course, they're in couples therapy. So let's see. Hashing it out. So they're in couples therapy. Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay, homework. Toby. Okay, so she's thinking maybe they got married with Toby. Let's see. Okay. They did get married. Okay, yay, they found Maria. She remembered Toby. Okay, let's see. This is a letter she wrote yesterday. Good, she's been in remission. Good. Oh, her cancer came back. Oh, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, are they going to give Rita and Norman his name? Oh. Okay, now Charlie is going to meet Barry. Oh, Charlie's meeting Barry. He remembers, of course. This is from Marlon. So it was Marlon. I had a feeling. So Barry wrote it, but it was because he's the one who had a crush on you. Ooh. See if they can find Marlon now. We'll see. Rita and Norman. Oh, okay. Whew. Oh, sorry. I love happy endings. So I really hope this works out for Rita and Norman, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'm so glad Maria got her life together. So it looks like her life really turned around. We don't know if that has anything to do with Toby. All the teacher remembers of Toby is that he was just crazy about her. So sometimes, we need that good influence in our life. So whatever happened, maybe this Toby person really helped Maria turn her life around. We don't know, but she did end up getting married. Seems like she's doing well for herself. She has her own office, so that says something. She has her own office and she's helping couples, team up for adoption or, get them to connect them. I guess she's connecting them to people. So that's exciting. She's kind of having a little crisis right now because the couple she had lined up fell through. So she's got a client whose baby is being born in a few months and she's looking for adoptive parents. So hopefully this is kind of where Norman and Rita can hopefully maybe jump in and be that couple. But there's always a twist. So remember a couple movies back in The Sign Still Delivered when Charlie was pregnant, Rita and Norman thought that they would adopt Charlie's baby, that this was a miracle for them. And then what I loved, one of the lines Norman said was, hey, maybe she's not our miracle. Maybe we're her miracle. And I love the way there was kind of a twist on that. Like, hey, let's look at it from another perspective. This baby is not so that we can take it away from Charlie and be their adoptive parents. Maybe we're supposed to adopt Charlie, so to speak, and the baby and have a place for them to live. And it worked out great. Charlie is living with them. She has her baby. Rita and Norman are helping. So there could be a twist with this too. But you know what? I really hope everything works out. Like I said, I believe in second chances. I believe everything, we want everything to work out. So we will see how that goes. So it looks like kind of two letters down, so to speak. We found out that Maria is doing well, and the teacher wrote that second letter to her, so I'm glad that one can be delivered. We've got Charlie. I thought there might be a twist because she said it was Barry, but I kind of had this inkling it might be Marlon. So let's see if she pursues and looks for Marlon and see where that goes, and then we still got another letter to talk about. So, and then of course Shane and Oliver, see how their counseling is going with, getting settled in with married life. So definitely think it's interesting. I really want to see how everything progresses, and seeing how everything goes. So we'll see. We're going to be getting right back into it here. So I hope you're enjoying, the movie. Definitely stay with me. I'll do my review and get my Gen rating afterwards. But yes, and, definitely, sad change of events with the drama teacher, Mrs. Philbot, is, was in remission and now her cancer's back. So I don't know if they're going to show her again. But definitely, want to keep her in our thoughts and see if that comes back into play as well. So, all right, it's coming back on. Let's get back into it. Let's watch. Back at the post office. All right, Oliver's talking to his dad. Love him. He's been in so much. Such a great actor. All right. Therapy again. Oh, okay, we're getting somewhere with counseling. Great counselor. She's wonderful. Love that. Love that. Wow, Rita Norman. So one more thing. All right. We went from Rita and Norman back to Oliver and Shane. Okay, starting over. We're getting somewhere, counselor. Great therapist. Love her. Love her. She did great. Okay. All right. So, first off, love the therapist. Love everything she says. She's great. So, I'm a little curious on what's going on with Norman and Rita. Now, I personally have never adopted or fostered children, so I don't know the details of the process. So I don't even have a guess of what this last thing is. But whatever it is, she said, I'm okay if you don't want to go through with it. So it's got to be something, I don't want to say drastic, but something that hinders other couples or kind of makes you think before you go through the process. And for some reason, they're needing to talk to Oliver and Shane. So definitely, want to find out what that is. And if I didn't say it before, I am so glad that Maria has turned her life around. This issue that she had in high school where she was expelled and arrested for, hitting the car window with the bat. Obviously did not hinder her. She was able to go along. It looked like when we sat down in her office, from what I could see just briefly, it looked like plaques behind her, which means, maybe she went on to get her GED and go to college. Since she was expelled from high school, she, in order to go to college, you got to graduate. So it looks like perhaps she did that or got some kind of specialization, some kind of training that she's proud of, that she hangs behind her desk. So I definitely am glad that she was able to kind of put this behind her and, stay with Toby. It looks like, from what Shane said, they got married, so I'm happy for them. Definitely, kind of full circle with the theater teacher. She first was told she had cancer. It was her first chemo, and then 7 years later they talked to her about it. She relives the moment, and now she's no longer in remission. She's diagnosed again. So hopefully we'll have a happy ending with her as well. Hopefully they'll kind of tie that up, and we'll see what's going on with the other letter. We'll find out what's going on with Charlie, if she's going to reach out to Marlon. I just had a feeling when she said, oh, Barry definitely wrote the letter. I don't know, something inside me was telling me, no, maybe she wrote it for Marlon. So I guess it was more of a prank because Marlon really had feelings for her, but obviously Charlie didn't know. So, Barry thought, okay, well, this will be funny. I'll write the letter and sign it, love, Marlon. So it'd be interesting to see what Marlon's doing. See if there's any kind of connection there. Good to see, Barry's doing well, married, has child. So that's always good. Like I said, I always like to see people getting second chances. I always like to see people, bettering themselves and doing well because, in the end, that's what we want. We want everybody to do well. Everybody do you and live your best life. So definitely hoping they find out where Marlon is and Charlie can see Marlon and kind of see how that goes. And then, I believe we still have one more letter to recover and see what's going on with that. But I definitely like that. Pretty much this movie is really based it on their lives. Which is a little bit of a turn of events. Most of the time it's really focused on the story of the Dead Letter Office. So I kind of like that this movie is really kind of playing heavily on both of their marriage lives and navigating through that. So definitely enjoying it so far. We still have a little bit left to see what happens. So hopefully, once the commercial's over, we'll get right back to it. Hopefully you're enjoying it as much as I am. Love seeing these main four characters. And love seeing Oliver's dad in it as well, and Charlie. So love that they bring everybody back. And, they bring back Ramon. I just love that they bring all of the characters. Everybody in this series is great. And I love that they all kind of come back for all of the movies, even though they're a couple years apart. It's great. All right, here we go. We're getting back into it. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh, wow, okay. It is. Mm. Yeah. So precious. So the baby might have some complications, but they're still going to give him. Exciting. Yes, please. Come on, Charlie. It's true. What's the idea? Mm-hmm. I think they should find Marlin too. We'll see. Maria, Sam, Mrs. Philpott. Aww. All right, one last letter. All right, last letter. All right, here's the last letter. It's been in there for months. Let's see. All right. All right, so they still, let's see if they can see anything from the letter. It's intact. They can read some of it. Okay. Oh. Ooh. Marlin. Aww. What? What? That's his letter? No way! Okay. Okay, Marlin. What did it say? Well, Marlin can read it. Not when Marlin picks her up. Mm. Aww. I love it. Aww. Aww, Marlin. She's not fussy when Marlon held her. Aw. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love a happy ending. And pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? Am I right? Aw. Okay. All right. So the third letter was, the one that was basically in Norman's concoction, so to speak. So I love that. I love how they all intertwined. Love that they found Marlon, and I love that actor. He's been in other movies too. He's great. So I love that as soon as he held Eleanor, she calmed down. Charlie was like, she's been fussy. Calm down instantly. He's a natural. So, small tidbit. I love that. Love Marlon getting together with Charlie. So hopefully that'll kind of come together. It doesn't look like he's involved with anybody. He says, you never forget your crush. Shane said he's in law school, so it looks like he's putting himself through school. Very solid guy. So definitely like where that's going. So it looks like the movie's coming to an end. We got all three letters basically deciphered and delivered, so to speak, since that last one was to Charlie. So I love that. Like I said before, I'm a sucker for happy endings, so I love how this is all kind of going together. So really the only thing, I guess the thing that I was talking about, like what could be happening or what could be this final decision for the adoption. So with the baby having this heart condition, spending a couple weeks in the NICU, that's life changing. NICU is, they put you in incubator, they help you breathe if the baby has breathing problems. So that's very serious. And then if she does survive that, she could have a surgery soon. And I guess other couples were like, we don't want to pay for that. That's expensive. Like, we don't really want to go through with it with the, option that she might not make it. Rita and Norman, they were nervous. They wanted to talk it over with Shane and Oliver, but obviously, they're not a problem. No matter what happens, they're going to love that child, and God's gonna take care of it. Whatever happens. And, it's gonna work out. So I'm definitely glad. I didn't expect Rita and Norman to adopt a child or have a child so soon in this first movie, or should I say in this movie after them being married. But I definitely love it. I really think this is a great ending for them. And Charlie, starting this relationship, hopefully with Marlon, kind of gives her a future. But they, Rita and Norman have a big enough house to be able to support everybody. So I definitely like how that ended. And like I say, the drama teacher, Maria, went to see her. So they're kind of patching things up. So it looks like everything's kind of wrapping up at the end of this movie. I feel like, Shane and Oliver are kind of getting past that and moving on. So I really want to see, how it goes with, maybe the movie will end with Norman and Rita, seeing their baby for the first time. You know, maybe the woman or the girl give birth, and that's how the movie will end. I don't know. I love happy endings. You know, I'm very emotional when I see that kind of stuff. So definitely, you know, really wanting to see how this ends. And really just happy for everybody. Like I said, I love that they bring back all the characters. I love Ramon's back. And I love Oliver's dad that's come back. So it seems like every time they do one of these signed, sealed, delivered movies, that the cast is just so welcoming. Everybody wants to come back. Everybody enjoys it, enjoys those movies. So definitely glad that they're still doing it, and hopefully they'll have another one. Let's see, we're back on. Let's see, back with Oliver and Shane. Aww. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love them. They're so different, yet they come together and such a great couple, even with their differences. Okay, so they both have to do something. Remember, their homework was they have to surprise each other. So, what is Shane going to do? What is Oliver going to do? Oh, Shane's picking up the crank that she had repaired. So, that's exciting. All right, let's see what Oliver has for her. Oh my gosh. He put the porch swing together in the house. Oh, I love it. Mm. 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 Oh, so sweet, Oliver. Hmm. with you. Oh. Mm-hmm. Hours. Yes, I love that. Love that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. Home is people, home is not a place. You have to feel home with the people you love. I love that. Definitely great surprise. I love it. Mm. All right, Shane. Shane has a surprise now. What's her surprise? What'd she do? She fixed the crank. What? Aw. Oh, oh, she's pregnant. That's so sweet. Oh, oh. I told you I'm a sucker for happy endings. Oh, she's pregnant. Oh. Okay. Whew. Need a tissue. Oh. All right. All right. Whew. So her surprise is obviously she got the crank fixed for the grandfather clock, but whew. Um, so she is pregnant, so that is super exciting. I cannot wait. So it looks like oh wait 1 second here. We will see. All right. So that wanted to just make sure that was the end. So yes, that was the end of the movie. So whew, sorry about that. You know, I get a little teary-eyed when I see a happy ending like that. But yes, definitely a lot to talk about. That was a great movie. If you enjoyed the movie and, let's talk about that review. So, just stay with me and we will go right into the review and the gen rating. So just stay tuned for that.